Down. Ralts, Growlithe, Shuppet, Tandemouse, Beachport, Sandaconda, Katie, Penny Reverse, Magnemite Reverse, na Meowscarada.
It's a lightning bolt. Booger King. Welcome in. It is Wrastlin Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
I'm Commander John Beck.
I'm Sam Nito.
And today we got a special WrestleMania edition of Wrastlin Wednesday. So we're going to watch some classic matches that I'm going to have Sam take you through. We are going to play our normal four event tournament that we do.
We might actually do 5. It is WrestleMania
Yeah.
week. We might throw an extra bonus match in there.
We might throw an extra one in there. So we'll have a surprise for you at the end with that extra match. But we're going to start the show off, since it is the WrestleMania edition of this, we're going to start the show off by doing a little bit of, not really a debate, but just kind of flesh out, number one, what the top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time are.
Yes.
And then the top 10 moments in WrestleMania history. Now, as Sam is going to tell you as well, these are our favorites. These are not the top 10.
Not the top 10,
but
just
our
favorites.
top 10. So we're going to do that. Before we get into the matches, he's already got all the matches planned out. We went through some back and forth. I was sending him clip after clip. What about this match? What about this match? He's like, relax. I got this. I've seen them all. He's seen every WrestleMania. Yeah. So he did not need my help, even though I was just like blindly. He's like, yes, Justin, we've watched that together. Yeah. We've seen that match together. I know it exists.
It is difficult picking 5 matches out of 38 WrestleManias now?
What's up, Aces? Welcome in, Aces.
Welcome, Aces.
Thank you for being here. We got home a little late. We had a doggy emergency at work.
I was really done.
So he was here at my front door waiting. He said, "Pizza guy already got here, bro. Where were you?" So we got in. We got everything set up. I'm gonna let Sam take you through the matches that we're gonna watch after we get to this list right here. He said, "Sit down," and then we'll go through the top 10 matches of all time. He will probably have more exposition than I will, because this dude knows these matches. Where I've seen these matches, but some of them, especially one of them, is very foggy to me. I haven't watched it in a long time. And then the top 10 moments, and these are just like my favorite moments that built it or whatever. So let's start with the top 10 matches. Sam, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Oh, you start. I'm curious.
He's going to let me
top 10 matches
go first. This is a disaster, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, let's start from number 10 and work our way on down to number 1, which number 1, I think everybody's going to understand why it's number 1.
Okay.
But number 10, the first Money in the Bank ladder match. We watched this match together, the one at WrestleMania. Okay. It was Jericho's idea.
Yeah.
Ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is at number 10 just because it's the first match ever. Edge wins it, right? Isn't Edge the first winner?
I think so, yes.
So this is, and the whole reason I picked this as number 1, this is why he loves Edge.
Somebody studying.
Yeah, this is why he loves Edge in the first place. Because this event, along with the cashing in of the Money in the Bank briefcase, is why Edge is his favorite wrestler, because he's the ultimate opportunist, and he always cashes in right when he needs to. But if you
finds a way.
He finds a way. And if you have not seen this match, it's exciting. It obviously has a ladder, so lots you can do with that. And then just the guy, because it used to be the belt. You have the belt up there, and now this is you're reaching for an opportunity to win the belt. So just the dynamic of it, and it being the first one, and actually being Jericho's idea, which is just out there, that Chris Jericho was like, well, I think we should do this, and it's an amazing WrestleMania 2000. Is that right?
Money in the Bank, I believe 2005.
2005. So if you have your phone at home, go ahead and
WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania 21.
21.
Yeah, WrestleMania 21.
So Aces, you just fact check us, make sure we are right on that one. The next one. So, as I started to make this list, I started seeing the same names. So what I did was I pulled some out that maybe are better matches, but they already have a name that I've used like 2 or 3 times. I didn't want to give you guys the top 5 Shawn Michaels WrestleManias.
Shawn Michaels' greatest hits.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to do that. So I went Triple H versus The Undertaker at 9. And it was on 14 on this other guy's list, and it was on somebody else's list, and there was somebody, it wasn't even on their list. But it's a great match. I watched it with him.
You said Triple H versus
Undertaker.
Which one? There's 3.
There's 3. I think it's the middle one. It's not the late one.
So it's not the Hell in a Cell?
No, it's the Hell in a Cell.
It's the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
okay.
Hell in a Cell.
Alright, so WrestleMania 28.
Okay.
Alright.
So I told you. I was going to be foggy, and he was going to be able to pull it out for you guys. So
it's a bit confusing because Triple H is the only wrestler that the Undertaker faced 3 times at WrestleMania.
The Hell in a Cell one. It's because it's like one of the... We all grew up on the Mankind Hell in a Cell moment and that kind of stuff, so it's another one of those type moments. And doing a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania with Undertaker and Triple H and the sledgehammer, it's a classic moment. It's a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
So number 8, Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels. We watched this one together. He was like, actually, I think Kurt might out-wrestle.
Wow, that's all the way at 8?
I know. It's a great match.
It is.
And Shawn Michaels got out-wrestled by Kurt Angle. And I didn't think I'd see it. And then when I watched it, I was like, yeah, he was phenomenal. It was a really good match. So it's at 8 for me.
Yeah, I remember when I just watched a documentary or something about them talking about the match. And it was the first time Shawn Michaels had to kind of like defer to Kurt Angle because he was like, I literally don't know what I'm gonna do in this match, how I'm gonna do it, because I'm with you.
With a broken freaking neck, absolutely, Probot.
And you
See,
can tell too.
He made it in there.
But he made it like definitely one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of like all time. It wasn't the greatest WrestleMania match of all time until WrestleMania 25, which we'll probably get to later.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next one, now this, I don't know where this is going to be on people's list, and it might not even be. Do we sound okay, guys? Let me know if we're sounding good to you guys. I'm not sure if this is going to be on anybody else's list, but for me, this is one of my all-time personal favorites and one of my all-time moments. It's the TLC match with Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, in 3D. To me, it's one of the most exciting matches I've ever watched. There's so many things that happen, from technical wrestling to kind of hardcore type stuff with ladders to really high flyer stuff. Like Edge jumps out of the air and spears Jeff Hardy off a ladder. It's just so... See, that's one of my favorites.
Now, my question would be, the Hardys, Edge, Christian, and the Dudley Boys, they did 2 TLC matches. One at WrestleMania 16, one at WrestleMania 17.
It's the one with the spear.
So the one with the spear?
Yes.
So that would be WrestleMania 17.
Okay. So...
from like 2001.
Yeah. So that one, I mean, the swanton that Jeff does. Did he do a swanton or did a leg drop? I think it's a leg drop.
Maybe.
Because I think it was too high for a swanton, so it was like down through some tables.
Yeah,
so
those guys that night definitely set the bar. Those old ladder matches with just a ladder were gone forever. It was about
it was
chairs,
so
tables, innovative. They all got like standing ovations like when they went to like the back. Like, you guys just brought the business to like a new level.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite matches because it was also so innovative and unique for any other match I've ever seen. It was so different. So that one is at 7, and that might not even be in people's top 20. I don't know, because it's not like a solo. It's not like for the heavyweight championship type. So it might not make it. Number 6. This one's one of my favorites as well, and it's in some people's top 20 a lot of times. and not even because of the wrestling like technical abilities.
Yeah.
There's a lot in this match. Like it is Rock versus Hogan, Icon versus Icon.
Yes.
WrestleMania 18. Right?
Yes.
Hey, we pulled it. We pulled
We
it.
got one.
So it's one of my favorites. Obviously, like most people, we grew up like catching, at least my age, the tail end of Hogan.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see 80s, early 90s
Yeah.
prime Hogan.
Yeah.
So we only got to see NWO Hogan, or when he came back as the Hulkster after that.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to see prime Hogan, right? So Rock was kind of my guy. But I knew that Hogan was the icon from the generation before. Obviously, there's Bret Hart and some other people in there.
Yeah.
But, like, that was transcended. The Rock was transcending wrestling, too, at that moment. I don't think quite as big as Hogan, because no one will probably ever transcend wrestling. I guess The Rock does now.
Yeah, even people that didn't watch or didn't even know wrestling,
They
you
knew
who
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan was.
Everybody knew who he was. So just to see him come back and the energy, and I think we're watching that one tonight.
Yeah.
The energy, WrestleMania 17 had so many good matches. Stone Cold Rock, Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Yep, so many.
Absolutely.
It's one of the best ones. And so to see him come back and the energy in the crowd and just... They didn't even wrestle for like 10 minutes. They were just staring at each other as the fans went back and forth. That's how big of a moment it was. And it's two of my favorites.
And even bigger because
I like both.
It was something you thought you would probably, like, as a wrestling fan, never see. It was like a dream fantasy match.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll never see Hulk Hogan and Rod.
Yeah.
You dreaming.
It's literally an icon versus icon. And, I didn't get to see Hogan in his prime, but I've with my dad, I've watched Sting versus Hogan and Sting versus Flair and all these old matches with Sting because my dad likes Sting. And so I've seen Hogan wrestle. So this was way later after, was it after WCW when he come back? Or
Yes, that's way after.
Yeah. So after that, and I had seen WCW with my older cousin who was like really into WCW instead of WWE.
Yeah.
And I was a huge Rock fan. So it's just like this, it's like personal moment for me that I put it up there. So this is one he might not even know much about this match. I'm not sure because it's a he's gonna know it, but it's not gonna be like
name something from
1902. Absolutely, it's not gonna be like the back of his hand like some of these other matches.
Jerry Briscoe versus
Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Steamboat.
I've seen that for the Intercontinental title.
Yes, it's the reason why it's on the list. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Macho Man. There it is. The reason it's on the list is because it's not the main event at WrestleMania, and it became the main event at WrestleMania. That's how good the match is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's you knew it was coming. So that's why it's up there. I've seen it a long time ago, but I haven't seen it recently. So I'm not going to be able to tell you all the details of that match. But I remember watching and be like, yeah, that's a phenomenal match. The next one, Stone Cold versus Bret Hart. It's the moment that makes Stone Cold Steve Austin a household
blood
name.
coming from his face while he's stuck in the sharpshooter.
Well, he's stuck in the sharpshooter, and then his body gives out.
Yeah.
It essentially makes Stone Cold Steve Austin. It propels him into the star that he is, and it helps win the Monday Night Wars. So that's why it's on the list.
That's an awesome match. WrestleMania 12, I think?
Yeah.
No, WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania 13,
So the next one, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
It's high for me because of the two wrestlers and what they mean to me. It's not high because there's other matches that are more technical and this and that. But the moment between Shawn and Rick at the end, his hero, he has to take his hero out.
Yeah.
Ric Flair retires from wrestling for all of a couple months. And then, we move on. But it's a great moment at WrestleMania between probably the best performer at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then, a guy that without wrestling does not exist.
Yeah.
So it's like that level.
And you have to think too, like that moment, like this picture of 60-year-old Shawn holding a wrestling magazine with Ric Flair on the cover.
Yeah.
And like decades later, he either wants to retire.
Yep.
Can't write that.
I know. So number two on the list. Now there were a lot that could have gone here, but this one goes here. Sentimental value for me, but also the moment I hated Stone Cold Steve Austin. And hate with a healthy level of respect. but I'm a Rock guy. So the moment
Was that when he went over to the Vince McMahon
that he
side?
goes over to the Vince McMahon side and he screws the Rock at WrestleMania. So great match. The ending was like, what?
Yeah.
That happened? But it's a phenomenal match. It's one of my personal favorites. So it's at number 2 on my list. Number 1, there should be no surprise. He knows what's coming.
I know.
Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker to try to end the streak. And
Yep.
Shawn comes up short. And he kicks out of everything just to come up short. So that's number 1 for me. I think we might even watch that one tonight. It might be on the list. So, yep, that one's on there. Those are my top 10 matches. I'll let him do his
Dude,
top 10.
that was a solid
Not
top
bad,
10.
right?
Yeah.
We had a lot of research on
I'm a
this.
little proud right now.
They weren't terrible. It wasn't The Rock 10 times. When he was Rocky Maivia and he fought.
This is
What?
the Shawn Michaels documentary top 10.
So those are my top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches.
Alright guys, I go ahead with my top 10. My personal top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. Not the best top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time. So what I have at number 10, I have Hogan and Rock, WrestleMania 18. I remember this icon. At number 10.
I did not think that would be on the list.
Oh, of course, man. You can't think or put together the wrestling story without Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to like WrestleMania 3. So him, you meeting the best of the past, meeting the best of like the present at that time, like iconic.
Yeah.
So definitely easy like top 10 matches of all time. And I think some people probably had that like top 5, top 3.
Yeah, something.
Easy.
It started off at 2, and it worked its way down to 6 for me.
Yeah.
Because it started, I put it in my top 2.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favorites. But then when I was looking deeper at some of the other matches, like, that's probably a better match. That's a better match.
Yeah.
Technical abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But it was at number 2.
Alright, so number 9 we have Undertaker Triple H WrestleMania 27, the No Holds Barred match. I'm a WrestleMania earlier from your choice.
Okay.
He had WrestleMania 28, the Hell in a Cell. I liked that match a lot. I thought Triple H was actually gonna end the streak because for like weeks on end he was like he kept pointing up like the one.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, he would be the one or whatever. He's like, Sean, I'm gonna do what you couldn't do. And watching the match, like he was like, must have been like I think 3 pedigrees and a bunch of like other moves I hadn't seen him use. They went all out, and I think they both sustained like some injuries like around the end. But definitely one of my favorite Triple H Undertaker matches at WrestleMania out of the 3 that they had. All right, number 8 would be John Cena versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. That was WrestleMania 23 was probably like my first, I think, probably the first big like WrestleMania I saw full. This is when I was kind of like still like slowly becoming like a wrestling fan, but slowly becoming that fanatic fan. So it was John Cena defending his championship against Shawn Michaels, who hadn't held the belt, the championship since like '97, and who hadn't won the world title since I think 2000. Yes, he hadn't won the world title since like 2005 when he came back and won the chamber. So that match from like top to bottom, like awesome. It's probably Cena's greatest match just because of like Shawn and just everything about it. Shawn the veteran, like he's this new kid, how the main event.
He didn't make my top 10.
Let's see, number 7 I have Batista and Undertaker. It was one of probably the biggest anticipated matches of like 2007. Undertaker winning the Royal Rumble, picking the person that he was gonna go up against. I was hoping he had chose Cena. That would have been awesome. But he chose Batista, and even me at that time, I didn't know. Like Batista's huge. He's like an animal. Like Undertaker's Undertaker, of course, but I had little faith in like Undertaker actually winning, just because Batista was knocking through everybody on the roster. And when match and everything at WrestleMania 23, like they like tore the house down. One of my favorites. The Batista's entrance is awesome. Undertaker is probably like one of his best entrances. But
Thank you,
yeah,
Aces.
Batista, Undertaker, WrestleMania 23, like awesome. So that was my number 7. Number 6 is Rock and Stone Cold at WrestleMania 19. That was the last time Stone Cold and Rock would face each other at WrestleMania. It would be their 3rd time, and The Rock was 0-2 against Stone Cold at WrestleMania. So it's like a lot of emotions. Like with Stone Cold's last match, he was kind of like leaving. The Rock was kind of like had one foot out. He was going on to like do movies and such. So it would probably be like the last time as a fan to see these two guys like go at it like one last time on like the biggest stage. So you have so many moments like in that match. You have them using each other's finishers. You have The Rock putting on like Stone Cold's vest. Stone Cold's vest is OTR. I mean, OMT for one more time. You hit a glass break for like the last time. So definitely. So it's like kind of like seeing like the last big stars of like the Attitude Era like one more time.
My favorite part of that match is just seeing The Rock slowly turn around. Just taking it the best. That's one of the best.
Let's see. My number 5 would be the triple threat tag match at WrestleMania 17. Like yes, I'm saying so many great moments. Definitely a match that brought the company to that like next level. And these like new guys were like coming in and doing like amazing things. So I can't imagine the pressure that these 6 guys were like under to not only do a ladder match, but to like elevate it to like the TLC while on the WrestleMania stage. So I can't imagine like the nerves and stuff, but definitely one of my favorites. Like the spear from freaking to Jeff Hardy from like at the top of the ladder by Edge, and the table crashes, like so much many moments like in that match. So definitely like top 5 for me.
We both put it on there. I cannot believe that. Yeah. I was like, it might not be on his list. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Also with the list, you have to keep in mind I had to keep in mind the word match. Doesn't necessarily mean like 1-on-1 or triple threat. So the ladder match, the TLC match, will like count for that because it is a match. But typically when people think match, you automatically think 1-on-1. Anyway, number 4, Triple H versus Chris Benoit versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 20. It was a celebration of 2 decades of like WrestleMania. It was them returning to Madison Square Garden. It was the first ever triple threat match and probably the best triple threat match still that ever seen at like WrestleMania for a championship. Wait, what?
Ace was like, that's a good one.
Yeah. And so obviously you have Triple H, Shawn, Chris Benoit. So it's very like 3 different kind of like dynamics like in the ring at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like that was a box office championship match. But yeah, definitely my number 4. My number 3 would be Undertaker versus Edge at WrestleMania 24. WrestleMania 24 was probably like the first pay-per-view I ordered when I was like 18 to 19.
To see Edge?
18 to 19 just to see WrestleMania in general, the whole card. We just got a nice apartment, and that was one of the first things we did was order the pay-per-view. And anyway, my favorite wrestler, Edge, walking into WrestleMania as world champion, headlining the main event against like Undertaker. And Undertaker was obviously, Undertaker was 14-0 at that point. Edge was 5-0 or something like that. He hadn't lost a match at WrestleMania either. So with the matches pacing, clearly going into it, I was like, Undertaker will probably like win, but then like Edge like does a bunch of like amazing stuff like in the match, and they put on like a great match to where you didn't know like kind of which way you could go. Like, man, Edge could be the one to end the streak.
Yeah.
But definitely one of my favorites. Both their entrances, They're outside at, I think this is in Florida at the Citrus Bowl. I'm not sure if they
Orlando?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's still called that, but
Might be.
yeah. So it's an outdoor arena. So you have Undertaker who's already in the ring, waiting like on the Edge to come out, and you have like the wind blowing outside, and you have Edge. You have Undertaker gazing down at like the entrance ramp, like waiting for Edge to kind of like come out, and you could see it was the student mentor. It's gonna be a student mentor lesson like tonight, with that match, but awesome match. My number 2 would be Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 21.
There it is. I put that at 8, but he showed it to me, so that's why I even knew about it.
Definitely like number 2. Just like Kurt, Shawn, man, they went all out. I'm pretty sure if the match could have went on for like 30 minutes, they would have went for 30 more minutes. So it was just amazing and perfect in like every single way. And they weren't even. That was an interpromotional match. That wasn't even. It wasn't even a main event match. And then they ended up still. After you saw it, like, man, that was the main event.
Yeah.
They ended up stealing the whole show because I think, WrestleMania 21, who was champion? Oh, Triple H was the champion. He lost to Batista. And JBL was the champion in the main event, so he lost to John Cena.
Oh, God.
So both John Cena and Batista won belts that night. And never looked back.
Oh, God, not JBL.
But anyway, match-wise, Kurt Angle and Shawn were the main event that night. My number 1, no surprise, Undertaker vs. Shawn. For the streak at WrestleMania 25. The 25th anniversary.
What a beautiful.
I remember always the pay-per-view, we're up pretty late. I didn't get off from work. And I'm watching the Shawn Undertaker match, and it's just freaking. If you watch the match, people are out there seats at the arena standing up. It kept going. Undertaker's kept going to like, all right, Undertaker got momentum. All right, Shawn got momentum. Undertaker momentum. Shawn momentum. And just the match. You can't even like describe it. Like just watching. And I thought like watching. I'm like, man, Undertaker's streak is over tonight. It's over. It's it. I've never seen the superstar last this long. But one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life at WrestleMania. So definitely like number 1. And
that
even
was awesome.
They say Undertaker was smiling on his way back, going on his way to the back, because he knew it. Where man, we just freaking did something. Me and Shawn just did something special. But yeah, definitely the greatest WrestleMania match of like all time. Until we see Roman Reigns and Cody Sunday.
It'll be up there. It'll be up there.
But yeah, that's my top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. Nice. And now I think we're gonna head over to our top 10 WrestleMania moments.
Okay, and I'll be much more briefer on this one. I'll spend a moment on the moments. Okay. I won't go into full detail, but
you get 5 seconds per moment.
Yeah, right. WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior versus Hogan was awesome. First WrestleMania outside the U.S., WrestleMania 33. Reigns versus Undertaker, most watched WrestleMania ever, and Undertaker retires. WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Such a great match card. That's what Aces Wild said.
Well, that's not ever Undertaker. He didn't retire versus Reigns. He left his jacket and hat in the ring, but he came back and won 3 more WrestleManias after that. I was so upset.
I'll be back. So I'm going to briefly go through this moments thing. I'm not going to spend as much time. Number 10, the first ladder match. Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon.
Yep. Oh!
We did our research.
Deep
I'm telling you. We found this. So, the first pretend retired. They always pretend. This was so when I was talking about the Flair and Shawn Michaels thing. Retired from WWE, but I'll be over there in 2 months. But that first ladder match is on top 10 moments.
Okay.
Number 9, Deal with the Devil. This is Stone Cold shaking Vince McMahon's hand. So that's number 9 for me. Number 8, Ultimate Warrior upsets Hogan.
Ooh.
It's because everyone expected Hulk Hogan to win. Yeah. Ultimate Warrior got the win and the title, and no one expected it. It's like the first twist that you didn't expect. So it's at number 8 for me. 7, HBK's first title win. The dream of a little boy.
The boy who dreamed of Shawn Michaels has come true.
There it is. So that's number 7 for me. 6, this is going to be controversial. but I'm just taking the moment when Chris Benoit wins the championship and embraces Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
After winning, it's
All right.
on my top moments. I
He
know.
knew?
But I'm not gonna go any more into that. But that's on there.
All right.
Number 5, Icon versus Icon, Hulk versus Rock. My number 5 moment of all time. It's got a special place for me. It didn't go to number 1 because there's some other stuff that either built the industry or is an even better
It's
moment.
like Braun Strowman at number 1.
Yeah, Braun Strowman for sure is number 1. Number 4, Stone Cold, Mike Tyson, DX. That WrestleMania card with that match, that moment propelled Stone Cold. It won the Monday Night Wars and changed wrestling history as we know it. So it's number 4 on my list. Number 3, the HBK kick to Ric Flair. I'm sorry, I love you, smack. And Flair's retirement. That's number 3 on my list. Number 2, he's gonna hate me for this. The streak ends. It is one of the all-time most memorable moments. Not for a good reason, but it's memorable because it's like, what the fuck just happened?
I was watching the pay-per-view at his house.
He lost to him?
In my hometown, I was like, they made a mistake. Go back. Rewind. It's a glitch. The ref messed up.
So, for that reason, it is on my top 10 moments of all time. Because you didn't expect it.
No, not at all.
It was one of the worst.
Not at all.
But it's memorable. So it's at number 2. So, number 1. And this...
What is number 1?
Okay. That was an old response. Number 1, Hogan picks up Andre the Giant.
Oh, yes.
It's the number 1 moment at WrestleMania for me because of what it did for wrestling. It was something... I mean, it was like Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey as he picks up...
It was on the cover of the New York Times.
It's a fairy tale moment that created wrestling and Hulk Hogan. So that's number 1 for my moments.
That's a solid moment list. Not sure about the streak being number 2, but it's a solid moment list.
I told you. He's going to hate me when he hears this.
Alright, so my top 10 favorite WrestleMania moments of all time.
Gio! I know that's you. What's up, homie? Welcome in. Welcome in. Go ahead.
Alright, so top 10 best WrestleMania moments of all time. Number 10 would be Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3. 9, Edge versus Mick Foley, WrestleMania 21. Through the Flaming Table. Mick had wanted a WrestleMania kind of moment in his career. He never had one. Asked Edge to help him, and at the time Edge wasn't really being seen as a main event. So I was like, hey, I'll help you get your WrestleMania moment, and by helping him get his WrestleMania moment, they saw him as like a main eventer, and that ended up being one of the most talked about matches that night at WrestleMania 22. The barbed wire, the flaming table, like everything. So that's my number 9.
Pause real quick.
Yeah.
Thank you for the subscription. We appreciate it. We love you. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Alright, number 8 would be Undertaker's streak breaking at WrestleMania 30.
He did put it in there. I'm actually surprised he put that in there.
Yeah. Definitely one of the most shocking moments in WrestleMania history. Undertaker's streak coming to an end.
Because if y'all could feel the pain that he just said that with.
And it happened in my hometown, right in the Superdome.
His eyes closed.
It was shocking. I didn't mind months after or years after the Undertaker streak ending. So I was like 21-1. I could live with that. But to come back and win 3 more WrestleManias, I was just like, wow.
It just didn't make sense, yeah.
So anyway, number 7, the Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels match at WrestleMania 24. The super kick to the I Love You. Number 6, the end of an era match from WrestleMania 28. Undertaker versus Triple H in the Hell in a Cell with Shawn as the guest referee.
Yeah. Okay.
So with this, you had a conundrum. We had Shawn Michaels trying to call the match down the middle. However, at the same time, still kind of be loyal to his best friend, Triple H. And the last 3 guys from like the Attitude Era, like in this moment at once.
Yeah.
Like them finishing the match, walking up the ramp, like hugging. Beautiful moment. Let's see, number 5, Austin becoming champion at WrestleMania 14. that stunner to Shawn Michaels. Austin, my bad. Mike Tyson counting the 1, 2, 3.
Why do you look at me and say that?
Wait, what?
Why do you look at me and say that? Trying to hurt me before the show.
Oh no. All right, let's see. Number 3.
I will, bro. I got you.
The Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania 28. Definitely another